Welcome to the Monday weekend recap on this beautiful, I think, 19th of April. I believe it is the 19th of April, 2021. I'm excited. This weekend, we get Jorge Masvidal versus Kamaru Usman, which I'm really pumped for. Primarily for the Wiley Shane versus Rose Namajunas fight. I'm really excited for that fight. I'm also really excited to see how Shevchenko decides to take care of. Dang it, I grabbed the wrong computer. Well, might as well talk about this sponsor, DJ Slim. Make sure you get them for any parties, events, bar mitzvahs, bar events, or even your weddings at 815-257-2601. He's a good friend of mine. Where'd I put my computer at? Whatever. I'm using this one. Book it. Also, K Squared Imagery. He's a good friend of mine, a supporter of music. He is actually the guy that took this picture right here. Boom, that one. Really cool cat. I'm a big fan of his. He helps out as many artists as he can. He's very reasonable with his prices, and he's always willing to work with you. Great guy. K Squared Imagery, Kevin Killalea. Look him up on Facebook. Also look up Sup Marf. That's SUPMARF on YouTube. He actually recorded my second music video. It's called Float Away. Look up Float Away, Victor Raoul. Sup Marf Studios, SUPMARF. Great guy. Super cool cat. I know, right? Chicken wing night. Today was chicken wing night. I don't know what happened. Dallas was supposed to scoop me up, and he never did. That motherfucker. But anyway, it's all good. Yeah. So I want to give a shout out to Submark. He's a really cool cat. Awesome guy. I also want to give a shout out to Allie Ann's in Dwight, Illinois. They book me once a month for the rest of the year, and sometimes even more so than that when they have an opening and they want some good, solid entertainment. Because that's me, baby. I'm a very personable person. I think my best trait, if I'm gonna toot my horn a little bit, is the fact that I do my best to interact with the crowd. You know, I'll ask you guys for songs that I should sing, try. Even if I've never sang the song before in my life, I'll even ask you for words to make up a brand new song. And then I always try to get you to dance. So a big shout out to Allie Ann's in Dwight, Illinois. Make sure you go check them out any night of the week. Their food is amazing. And I definitely give them 2 thumbs up for sure. And let's see. Oh, yes. So Skydive the Falls Fest 3.0 this year. If you've never jumped out of a plane and you want to do it, do me a favor and join me. I will be going to Niagara Falls area to go to the Skydive the Falls Festival over in that. Just look it up on Facebook. Skydive the Falls. I don't know their exact address, but I'm going to be entertaining there for the festival. That's right, I said festival. It's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, July 15th to the 18th. Dude, don't miss out. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun time. There's a bunch of people going so far. Let's get a bunch more. Up next, Phoenix Fest over in Tall Tree Lake. There we go. Phoenix Fest at Tall Tree Lake in Vienna, Illinois. By the way, that campground is amazing. Huge lake, a great barn, and a better stage. And obviously, the vibes are always the shit. Make sure you go and check them out. Actually, Sugar Creek family gathering, that one right there, just met up this last weekend. I was supposed to go, but unfortunately things didn't work out that way. I still have to fix my truck, but it's still cool because a bunch of my friends were out there and they sent me love while they were out there, and I couldn't be happier. So let's talk about the fights this week. And number one, I want to give there's 2 of them. Number one, I want to give a shout out, huge shout out to Cell Edwards, who is now the light heavyweight champ at PFC, Peoria Fight Club. If you do not know about Peoria Fight Club, do me a favor and go check them out. There's people from Streator that go there and fight. There's people from Peoria that go there and fight. There's people from Decatur that go there and fight. It's a great combination of meeting of people who want to box. You can do MMA there. You can do kickboxing there. You can do wrestling, grappling, whatever you want to do. As long as 2 people agree, you can meet in the middle and find out who the fuck is the winner, right? It's a great time. And a bunch of Team 2 Strong was out there this last weekend. And, of course, the former heavyweight champion, Cell Edwards, who lost a very controversial split decision the first go-around, ended up fighting Kenny Wells for the light heavyweight title. And what a fight, dude. What a fight. Go check that out. It's actually up on YouTube. Look up Peoria Fight Club, Sal Edwards versus Kenny Wells. And make sure that if you're commenting on my videos, that you comment on my stream on my Mr. Hydration page. Otherwise, I can't read your comments. I don't know what you're saying, and then we can't interact. So there's that. Man, the reason I didn't want this computer is because, you know, it's super slow. Well, let's go off the top of my head. Let's go with the biggest. I'm gonna. Yeah. Fuck it. We'll talk about the Jake Paul fight. Fuck it. So, the fight card. Did any of you guys watch the actual fight card? Number one, and number two, did any of you pay for it? Because I didn't pay for it. I did not pay for that fight card, but I did watch it, and I gotta say that is. I didn't like the way that they planned it out. I wasn't a big fan of sitting there for an hour listening to performances right after the first fight on the main card. Like they should have started out with the performances and then had the fights and maybe like a performance between the second to last and the last card, the main event, the co-main and the main. Maybe do that, but like to have the first fight go and then have an hour of performances was a little ridiculous. I was not a fan of that. I thought that was annoying because they didn't tell you that. They just told you there was going to be performances. They didn't tell you when they were going to put it in, which good on them. You know, they're making their money. What the hell was that? Anyway, dude, fuck. I'm going to break this computer. Jeez. Anyway, I didn't like how they put it all together. I wasn't a fan of it. I thought that they could have been better put together. I'm really not a fan of Snoop Dogg's commentating. Dude, that whole team of commentators sucked. That whole team of commentators sucked so much ass. I'm pretty sure Oscar De La Hoya was like high on whatever the fuck he was high on. People say it was cocaine, but that dude looked glossy-eyed as fuck. I don't know what he was on, but who knows? Everyone was smoking weed on there, which, whatever. I'm not really judging that part. But, like, come on, you're commentating a fight, man. You're commentating a whole-ass fight. Why? Why, dude? I don't understand the lack of respect that they had towards the fighters and the fights in general. Like, there was a whole segment, I want to say it was in the co-main event, or maybe it was whatever. It was one of the fights. It was one of the fights where what the hell is his name? The comedian. I forget what the fuck his name. But anyway, he just showed up at the commentating booth and like the camera panned to him and then stayed on him while there was a whole ass fight going on. And I'm not talking about like for like a 10 seconds, 12 seconds, 20 seconds. I'm talking about for like a whole ass minute. The camera was on this guy coming in to the commentating booth while there's an entire fight going on. Like we don't care. As fight fans, we don't care. You should keep the camera on the fights. And that's one thing I didn't like because they're concentrating more on the commentary team sometimes than they are on the actual fights. And the fighters are actually getting in there, putting their lives on the line, risking damage, and they don't give a flying fuck. They don't give a flying fuck. They don't give any shits at all. It's really annoying. But whatever. It is what it is. Absolutely, Charles, dude. It was weak ass fight card, dude. Weak ass fight card. There's two fights on there I really enjoyed. One was the Frank Mir versus, hold on, I find him pulled up. Steve Cunningham versus Frank Mir. I really like that fight. Steve Cunningham, he's obviously former boxing champion. Frank Mir, former MMA champion, who was known for his striking as much as his grappling. So that was a more evenly set match. I was never really a big fan of the Ben Askren versus Jake Paul fight. I really wasn't. I thought that it was like so-so. I mean, it could have gone. Jake Paul picked the weakest, the lowest hanging fruit. You know what I mean? In that sense, if you know what that means, it wasn't competitive. I don't think. But anyway, so I really enjoyed that one, the Frank Mir versus Steve Cunningham. Although Steve Cunningham did win, I felt a dominant decision. Frank Mir did have his moments that he shined, and I definitely see him coming back for another boxing match, especially because he got paid $350,000 to do it. Dude, what? Holy shit. Real quick, before I get into the second fight I really liked, I just want to say Ben Askren made $1 million. He made out big time. Yeah, it sucks that he got knocked out. Obviously, no one wants to get knocked out, especially when a YouTube fucking creator. You don't want to get knocked out by that guy. But Ben did. But he also walked away, $1 million richer. So, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, dude. You went in there, you gave it a shot. I thought it was an early stoppage, but I also don't think that the results would have changed, if that makes any sense. I do believe that he could have kept on going. I don't believe that he would have. I still believe he probably would have got knocked out within 2 rounds, but it was an early stoppage in my opinion. But yeah, he made out on $1 million, dude. What? I think Jake Paul made 1.5 mil, and I don't know if he's involved in the pay-per-view at all. Maybe he gets like a cut of that, but I know that supposedly, nothing's for sure yet, but supposedly, they generated $75 million on that fight card. Now they did have to pay the artists, they had to pay the performers, they had to pay the people coming in and commentating. That even as shitty as that commentating team was, they still had to bring them in, pay for them to get in there. What is this? Is it still there? You know what? Fuck it. That's funny, dude. Anyway, so all right, so let's talk about my second favorite fight was Joe Fournier versus Raycon. Now, this is how I thought initially the Ben Askren fight was going to go, because I didn't think that Ben Askren would choke like that, but Ben Askren absolutely did choke. I don't know if it's because he just felt uncomfortable. I think it was his hip. The dude literally just had hip surgery. Didn't look like he was walking too well on it on the weigh-ins. Didn't look like he was walking too well on it in the boxing ring. That's why I think. But this is the fight that I thought that I was going to see with the Ben Askren versus Jake Paul fight. But it was Joe Fournier fighting Raycon, and he beat him because he didn't step off of the stool. I called Jake Paul not stepping off of the stool because once you meet adversity on a different level, especially in something that you're so used to winning, and then you just get shown, you just get the door shut on you. There's a totally different vibe that comes from you when you're in that position. And if you're not the type of person that gets up and gets going when the going gets tough, you quit on the stool. And that's exactly what happened to Raycon. Raycon was getting worked. I mean, it looked like Joe Fournier was just taking it easy on him. It was definitely a celebrity versus former boxer. And man, I'll give it up for Raycon. Raycon went out there and he challenged someone who was well versed in the boxing ring, where Jake Paul went for the lowest hanging fruit in the retired and hip surgery recently hip surgery. I don't fucking know. Anyway, he just recently got the hip surgery. But anyway, so I really enjoyed that fight. One, because Joe Fournier was really showing Raycon what was up. I mean, it looked like Raycon looked confident going in there, but as soon as shit hit the fan, he was not. Like, it was a slow shutdown. And I even called it right before the third round. I asked what the buddy sitting next to me. I was like, do you think that he's going to get up do you think he's going to get up off the stool for this third round? And he was like, no, I don't think so. So, yeah, turns out he was right. How about that? And then, of course, the main event, Jake Paul defeats Ben Askren. Jake Paul can box, man. Ben Askren was never really known for his boxing skills. I mean, he was heavily a grappler, and all striking that he had was to get in on the hips, take them down, and do whatever he wanted to them. And for the 19 fights, it worked. It worked every time. But unfortunately, he just went out there, And I got mad respect for Jake Paul. I got mad respect for Jake Paul in the sense that he is willing to put his name on the line against high-level competitors, but I don't have respect for him in the sense that he is taking the lowest hanging fruit, if that makes sense. So that's how that went. I'm not a fan of it. I am a huge fan of Ben Askren. It sucks that he lost, but what are you gonna do, man? You get in the ring, you fucking toss it up in the air, and then you either win or you don't. That's exactly how it goes. You either win or you don't. And unfortunately for Askren, he just lost. He happened to lose to a YouTuber, but whatever, man. You lose, you lose, you lose, you win, you win. That's the name of the game, man. Ben Askren went undefeated for 19 fights. He can take a loss. You know what I mean? Especially if he comes with $1 million payday. He's doing A-okay. I wouldn't feel too bad for him. Free up storage space. Yeah, well, if I knew how to do that, computer, I fucking would. But I don't. I do not. All right, let's move on to the real fights. The Bobby Knuckles. I fucking love that nickname, dude. Robert Whitaker. All right, let's see. Let's go with this. Boom, 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 boom. I was super psyched that this was happening at the same time as the Jake Paul fights, because whenever I would get super fucking annoyed that they were like doing some dumb fucking shit on that Jake Paul fight, I was just like, I'm fucking out, dude. I can just watch this fucking UFC fight card. So I'll tell you what, man, it was like like you watch a slow train wreck, and well, that's a terrible analogy. I guess it's like when you Four Local. That's what the Jake Paul card is. It's a Four Local, right? You take a Four Local, you take a sip, it's fucking strong, tastes like ass, super fucking sweet, but like too fucking sweet, And then you take like a nice drink of water, and you get the UFC fight. So it was a cool little like. I remember watching the Ben Askren get knocked out, and then like immediately after that, I was like, "Fuck this, dude! Let's change the channel." And we went back to the UFC fight cards. Didn't listen to any of the rest, and I had a beautiful fucking night. I was a little salty about it, but whatever. It is what it is, I mean, you win some, you lose some, like I said. All right, so let's get on with the fight card. Oh yeah, fight card. Oh yeah, fight card. Oh yeah. All right, I'm done. So I'm just gonna go through the whole thing because there's a couple fights on here that I was really, really excited about. In terms of the results. So Tony Gravely defeats Anthony Burchak. That was a good fight. It was a second round KO. Austin Hubbard defeated Dakota Bush. Gerald, this is the one right here. Okay, so if you guys don't know who Gerald Mearshart is it's because he's kind of been like a journeyman of sorts. He's actually the guy that Khamzat Chimaev fought last year that really boosted him up, and he like choked hard. He got knocked out in the first round, I think at 11 seconds or some shit like that. It was pretty sad. It was really sad to watch. And I really liked him going into that fight. I didn't think he was going to win, but I wanted him to go in there and show who he really was. But he never, I don't want to say he didn't get the chance because they both stepped in the ring, but he definitely choked on that one. But he comes back with an emphatic win over Bartosz Babinski, I think is how you say his name. What a win, dude. He gets him and he submits him in the 2-minute mark. What a beautiful win, dude, especially for someone who came off of that loss. What a beautiful win to get one in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. He gets in there, chokes him out. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fight. Jessica Pane fought Lupe Godinez, and she beat her by decision. Alexander Romanov beat Juana Espino by decision, which I really like that fight. That was a good fight. That was a really, really good fight. All right, so main card. I just want to say Luis Pena fighting Alexander Munoz. I thought was a good fight. I thought it could have gone either way. I'm not upset at the decision. Sorry, I heard something. I thought I heard something. Anyway, I'm not upset at the decision, but it could have gone either way. It was a great fight, though. Tracy Cortez defeats Justine Quiche. I was a little confused why that one was on there, but it was a good fight. Jacob Malkoun. What the fuck is that noise? I want to say it's a dishwasher. But anyway, yeah, Jacob Malkoun defeats Abdul Razak Al Hassan. That was a good fight too. That was a really good fight. Andrei Arlovsky coming back and defeating Chase Sherman, dude. Chase Sherman's a young cat, you know. Andrei Arlovsky has been in the game, dude. He's been in the game since the early. I think he's coming on 20 years. He's been fighting, or maybe I want to say it's 20 years. 20. He's had to have been fighting for like 20 fucking years. That dude's 42 years old, dude. Still getting the ring, still winning fights. That dude has made it to the 20 plus fight victories in the UFC. Dude, he's a fucking legend. He's a fucking legend. Reward this man with a fucking #1 contender fight or some shit. We're only gonna see him for so much longer. There's a saying: appreciate your heroes while they're alive, because once they're gone, they're not gonna hear it. Andrei Arlovsky, we need to start appreciating this man, because if we don't, dude, it's just a fucking it's a disrespect on the man, dude. He's been around for fucking ever and still beating fighters. Still beating fighters. That isn't heard of. There's so many people. Look at Diego Sanchez, dude. Can't even fight no more. So many people from Tough One don't even get in there. What's his name? Forrest Griffin, one of the most famous people that just came out with heart. Still hasn't fought. I mean, he also retired like 2011. But my point is, dude, he was fighting before those people, and he's still fighting now. If you do not appreciate Andrei Arlovsky while he's here, I don't know, do whatever you want. I'm just saying, I'm gonna do it. I gotta appreciate the man. Hopefully, I can make it out to one of his fights before he retires. Now, especially now the shit's opening back up. I mean, they have the whole event next weekend with Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. It's gonna be full stadium, baby. You might have to wear a mask, but whatever, dude. Fuck it, man. I'll wear a mask to go watch fight cards. I mean, I'm probably gonna take it off, but I'll get in there with a fucking mask. I don't give a shit. I do not wear a mask, by the way. Fuck that. Anyway, so main card. I already called it. It's the main fight, the #1 fight. It's a main event. Oh yeah, Whitaker versus Gastelum, and then Gastelum lost a decision. 50-45, 50-45, 50-45, 50-45. Dude, Kelvin Gastelum is one of the toughest motherfuckers in the whole goddamn world. The whole goddamn world. The entirety of the fucking world. This dude is just unnecessarily good. He's unnecessarily tough. I think he should be rewarded with really good fights from now on. I would just do money fights for Kelvin Gastelum, because the way that he fights, he is not going to last very much longer playing by the rules. He has a following. This man could fight Nate Diaz. This man could fight really anyone he wants to, and he would draw. He's a draw. I believe he is. I don't believe he should continue fighting the fights that he is fighting in the way that he's doing it, because, dude, there's not many fighters that fight like that and last a long time. He's young still. He's only 28 years old. He's only 28 years old, man. Kelvin Gastelum is a young cat. I think he needs to start fighting money fights. I think he needs to start concentrating on money fights. Maybe that makes him the best in the world eventually at some point, but just get in there with the people and just take money fights, man. You're only young for so long, and you only have so many miles you can put on your vehicle before it starts to fail you. And as a fight fan, I've seen many fighters go down this road where they get into wars like that, and I've seen many fighters retire way earlier than they should have over injuries, and obviously sustain damage over time. So that's my suggestion to Kelvin Gastelum. Robert Whitaker, dude, what a fucking man. That dude he went from losing a terrible one-sided ass whooping from Israel Adesanya. I mean, it wasn't even close. It was not even close. I'm a huge fan of the man, but he was not. That fight in no way, shape, or form was closed at any moment. It was pretty obvious what Robert was going to do. And because of that, Adesanya seen everything coming and stopped him. Stopped him at every step of the way. After he loses that fight, he fights a #1 contender fight. Everyone thinks he's going to lose. Everybody thought he was going to lose to Jared Cannonier. Thought he was going to get knocked out. Ends up breaking Jared Cannonier's arm in the fight, beating him by a decision. Gets in the ring with Darren Till. Everyone thinks that Darren Till is going to win. He's going to fight Israel Adesanya for the title. Loses. I mean, he didn't lose. He beats Darren Till. But he beats Darren Till. by decision. Does the same thing with Kelvin Gastelum. And his original opponent pulled out of the fight, Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa was supposed to be in Kelvin Gastelum's shoes. Paulo Costa pulled out. You know what, man? Reward that man with a title fight already. Reward that man with a motherfucking title fight. Do it. He's earned it. He deserves it. Dude, I got nothing else to say about it. He beat Kelvin Gastelum 50-45, man. 50-45. That means Kelvin Gastelum didn't win one round. Not one round. Robert Whitaker whooped his ass for all 5 rounds. Now, that doesn't mean Robert Whitaker didn't get his ass whooped too, but he got the better of him each round for 5 rounds for 25 minutes. 25 minutes is a long time, man. And Kelvin Gastelum was taking some punches. He was taking some real fucking heat, dude. This is why I'm saying that Kelvin Gastelum needs to start worrying about money fights. Fuck all this trying to be the best in the world, man. Maybe money fights can get you there. Get on a nice little win streak, get that clout. You know the UFC loves that clout. If Kelvin Gastelum would have won tonight, there's no doubt in my mind that he fights for the title. There was none. I assumed that he would. So it just goes to show you, Kelvin Gastelum, he needs to start doing these money fights. That's what he needs to start doing. All right, man. So those are my my Monday weekend recap. I also want to give a huge shout out to the Sugar Creek family. I know I couldn't make it. I'm sorry. I wanted to, but unfortunately, other matters came up, and I still got to hang around here and at least do some of the fights. At least cover some of the fights, watch some of the fights. Again, a huge shout out to Cell Edwards, dude. Cell Edwards went out there and whooped ass on Kenny Wells. Kenny Wells, if you guys don't know him, they all talk a lot of shit. I'm being real honest with you. They all talk a lot of shit. It's kind of pointless online. But, you want to build up these fights. You want to get people to show up. So if you need to talk a little shit to get people motivated to show up, then talk that shit, man. You're still going to answer it once you get in the cage. And unfortunately, Kenny Wells had to answer for it, That's what you get. Team Too Strong, always. Make sure you check them out. Also, Peoria Fight Club. Make sure you check them out. Peoria Fight Club. They're over at Club Truth in Bartonville, Illinois. Go check them out. Go support your local artists, whether it's a mixed martial artist, a singer, performer, actual paint artist, or maybe just a friend, who owns his own business or their own business. It doesn't have to be a he. But either way, that's my take on the Monday weekend recap. I'm very, very happy. Oh yeah, and Bellator had their tournament today or this weekend. Turns out Corey Time. Corey Anderson, formerly of UFC, went over to Bellator and now is 2-0, defeated his opponent in the light heavyweight Grand Prix. And then we seen, who was the main event? Phil Davis versus Negaman. Man, shows how much I watch Bellator. I feel bad. I actually like Bellator too. I just think their production is it's just not up to par with the UFC. I'm just so used to UFC being on top of their game production wise. And I think that's what it was. Vadim Nemkov versus Phil Davis. It was a rematch. And Phil Davis has this thing. I think it's a mental hump he needs to get a hold of. He definitely needs to learn how to control it or at least get over it. Where he has this it's almost like a Kelvin Gastelum thing, there's no denying that when the lights are the brightest, Kelvin Gastelum seems to fall shortest in terms of one or the other, when it's the best of the best, when it's top notch talent, he seems to come short. I don't want to say he's not one of the best. I think on any given night, Kelvin Gastelum has an opportunity to win in any fight against anybody. And I'm being sincere when I say that. I feel the same way about Phil Davis. Phil Davis is a very, very, very well-rounded fighter. Great at grappling, great at striking, long reach, athletic. knows how to get in there, but I think at times he has a tendency to meet his opponent's pace instead of creating the pace himself, and in doing so, he kind of trips over his own foot in a sense. But yeah, he ended up losing there. So those are my that's my whole spiel. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you didn't get to watch the whole thing, make sure you get back, rewind it, check it out from the beginning, and check out all the people that I gave a shout out to. You know, they're all really cool people. All right, I'm out here. I'm gonna get to eating because I'm hungry as hell. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah.